Hello, everybody, and welcome to the latest episode. I'm pretty sure it's episode 64. I keep getting it wrong when I type it, but it is episode 64 of the Hallway Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, the man at Genetics Forgot Rian, and Kieran is not here today. He has college assignments to do that he has already started. So fair. I've drafted in at the last minute an amazing guest co-host. I think he'd like to be known as the Mayor of Painsville Dan per Wrestle Talk. It's and let me get the second name right. It's Daniel Schachtmeyer. How are you?
Hello. Wow. Somebody that has actually almost nailed my last name. That is fantastic. I'm already so hyped to be here now.
Yeah, I studied German for my for secondary school, so nailed it. I'm happy. But yeah, how are you, sir?
I'm doing great. A little bit tired after a long wrestling week, but I'm here. I'm fine. I'm ready to go.
Yeah, let's do it. Before we start, obviously, we always start with admin. Yesterday I had probably one of my favorite recording days in a long time, where I interviewed. Speaking of Wrestle Talk, I interviewed one of their rising interviewers and journalist, Louis Dangor, and it was a great interview. Insights into how he interviewed Ric Flair and just how he got into the business, and it's a great interview. And then 3 hours later, live from his hotel room in Milton Keynes on business, Alex McCarthy of TalkSport spoke to me for about an hour, and we spoke about Tyson Fury and Drew McIntyre almost main eventing a UK main event, UK based pay-per-view, and his work and how he got into TalkSport, and it was just fantastic. So those two will be dropping over the next few weeks, so keep an eye out for them. They're probably two of my favorite pieces of work I've done so far. But we're here to talk about the week in wrestling. How have you found this week in wrestling? Because I thought it's been pretty strong compared to other COVID weeks of wrestling.
Yeah, as I said, it was a long week. So we started with a pay-per-view, and we are having a pay-per-view tonight, actually, again.
Yeah.
So it's like wrestling. And Impact had a pay-per-view yesterday also. So there's so much wrestling going on. But I have to say the weekly shows, the weekly AEW, WWE shows, they were a little bit less strong than the previous weeks, in my estimation. But the Clash of Champions pay-per-view, I quite liked that one.
Yeah, I would consider it a 3-match pay-per-view. I had 3 matches that I really enjoyed. The rest was a bit filler. And as you said, yeah, there were some good moments in AEW, NXT, and especially SmackDown, none in Raw. So Raw is always the last thing we review. I don't think we'll get to it today. We'll probably mention it in passing. But as we said, we'll start with the news. And I'd like to give the floor to Daniel to bring up the first news story, because you said you had 3 great news stories. So what are you kicking off with?
Yeah, I think the first one, everyone will love this story, I'm pretty sure, because, so Rusev, he has, I believe it was 3 weeks ago now, or even 4 weeks, when he joined AEW as the best man Miro, as he would like to be called now, and he has also a Twitch channel now, and it's on YouTube and everywhere, and on there, he talked to the Unrestricted podcast, actually, with this one. He told everyone about his storyline with Bobby Lashley and Lana.
Yeah.
Some might have to remember that marrying wedding storyline, whatever. And there was that moment where Lana cut a promo on Rusev and said to the public that he was some kind of sex addict.
Yeah.
And he actually told that the first idea of some over 70-year-old guy, we won't name him,
of course,
was that he was supposed to have an erectile dysfunction. So that was the original plan. But unfortunately, it got cut in the last moment.
You say unfortunately, and that is exactly how I feel as well, because I would have loved to have seen that played out. My God, like, that would have been amazing. Adam Blumpia, if you're listening, fantasy book Rusev's how Adam would have booked Rusev's erectile dysfunction, please. That would be a very good 20-minute viewing. But yeah.
I'm very sure that this would have kept Rusev on the WWE train for sure.
Yeah. Speaking of AEW, as you've given me a nice little segue in some positive news, Fightful recently interviewed Ben Carter, and ahead of the interview, Ben Carter, well, apparently, there's a rumor that Carter might be getting signed to AEW, which is pretty cool. It's not confirmed yet, but there's rumors that obviously he had an amazing match on Late Night Dynamite with Scorpio Sky. I see this as a no-brainer. He's a fantastic wrestler, and if he gets signed, all the power to him, because he, like Ricky, he was akin to Ricky Starks' debut, who was one of my favorite wrestlers now. He's just blown the door off the hinges and been like, yeah, Tony Khan, when he sees a good talent, he recognizes it and he puts pen to paper. So Christopher Daniels has made contact to bring him in. So what do you think of that, Daniel? Are you a fan of Ben Carter?
I'm actually have never heard of Ben Carter. I have to say,
Wow.
I heard of Ricky Starks. Big fan of Ricky Starks in his NWA days and even before. But Ben Carter, actually, kinda. I don't watch MLW, so maybe that's why. I believe he was on there, if I'm not mistaken.
He's a young English guy. If you look up just Scorpio Sky versus Ben Carter, he literally had an amazing match and then tested positive for COVID the next day, which took Brian Cage off TV because he wrestled him at Warrior Wrestling, that outdoor show. But yeah, that's really cool. I'm really excited to see more Ben Carter, and obviously a new wrestler and me hyping up now. I'd say you're excited to see if I'm doing him justice. But we'll move on to your second interesting news story you brought to the table today.
That one is actually arguably the biggest one that has dropped this week, because WWE now is forcing their talent to sign a new contract if they happen to be on Twitch, and they actually have to go off Cameo and other third-party brands completely and immediately. And because previously the company has claimed that you can still use your Twitch channel if you're using your real name, but that changed their mind. And if they want to keep on running their Twitch channels, they have to give their entire revenue basically up to the company, as far as I understand this new confusing rule. And of course, people are very upset backstage about this. And the entire thing is also getting pretty political because Andrew Yang, who was a presidential candidate for the Democrats, has said if Biden gets voted in the Oval Office, then he will make sure that this particular rule for these independent contractors, quotation marks, is lifted again, because let's face it, there's no tour, the talent can't tour. Not every talent is like a multi-time world champion, has like millions of dollars to their disposal, even though they're working for WWE, and they don't, even though there is a WWE shop, they don't get much merch sales from the tours. Like when you go to a WWE live event, you can shop these shirts. Also, that is not as strong as it used to be. So the thing is, they just want to make an extra dime, and the company is preventing them from doing that.
I was surprised you left out I don't know if it's on your piece of paper or on your phone there, but WWE have said that the revenue that the cut that they give to the performers will be put towards their downside guarantee. Which is horrific. And as Andrew Yang said, it's borderline. I don't even know if the word borderline fits in. It's illegal.
But that's kind of WWE's thing. Sometimes they just
loopholes.
Yes. So I find this one particularly questionable of them to do that. Like, and there's people like Paige who do nothing else. They are not booked for anything, not manager, not commentary, nothing. They have nothing to do, but are still under contract for who knows how long, and they just take this away from her. And sure, and what I don't understand is, like, of course, they kind of want to control their things and they want to have say over their characters. That makes sense, but also you have to see these people as walking, talking advertisement for the company. And especially like the younger generation is like on Twitch, Snapchat, and whatever, and Cameo maybe. And they see these guys, look up wrestling, look up WWE, and boom, you have a new influx of fans. But well, maybe I'm the only one that sees this, but I don't think so.
No, the thing, to put it in perspective for people, a few weeks ago when this was kind of coming to the surface, the biggest thing that opened my eyes was because obviously Up Up Down Down is already signed to the WWE. I'll get on to Austin Creed in a minute. His funny bit on Twitter yesterday, but Big E's cameo. If you multiply the price by the amount of cameos he's done, 500K. If he in excess of 500K, he basically bought and paid off a house with cameo, and now they're taking that away. That puts it in perspective for people. It's crazy. It's it's crazy. But yeah, Xavier Woods, Austin Creed on Twitter, and went on Twitter to talk about his blue tick and said he did it for no reason at all, throwing shade a little bit. But so that's a big news story in the news this week. Something that caught my eye when I was reading the Wrestle Talk news, which is where I get the news from, is an update on plans to have WWE Hall of Famer win the 2021 Royal Rumble. Louis Dango article from 3 hours ago. Big Daddy Dave, here's Big Daddy Dave Meltzer, reporting several months ago that the plan for the main event of WrestleMania 37 was Randy Orton versus Edge in an I Quit match. And then that means that a lot of people speculate Edge returning at the Royal Rumble and winning would set that up. However, Dave Meltzer has noted in the latest Wrestling Observer newsletter that while a return at the Rumble is touch and go, Edge should be still to find the wrestle by WrestleMania. So what I interpret that as, maybe he won't win the Rumble, but they'll still angle towards Edge versus Orton. And if anything is to go by, I'm assuming Orton will have the belt around his waist after beating Drew at Hell in the Cell. What do you think of this development where I mean, Edge versus Randy Orton is not something I want to see again, but if it's an I Quit match with the belt on the line, I can deal with it.
Well, I'm a big fan of Edge. Like, Edge is one of my favorite characters of all time.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we are past like these multi-time, decades-long working people like Orton, Edge, Cena, Brock Lesnar, winning these big kind of matches and having these gigantic WrestleMania main event spots. It's like we have to focus on a younger generation. And if Edge wins, he at least should challenge a younger guy, not Orton. So you should like finally put more attention on the next generation for this kind of stuff, because they are running out of stars, which I'm sure is a point will be talking about throughout this podcast. But I don't see it.
Yeah, I want Big E in a title. I want Big E to win the Rumble personally. I know he's not a young star, but someone who established someone. There's a draft coming up. That probably leads on to there's a draft coming up that includes NXT, which is a key point. Daniel, who are some of the people from the main roster that you would like to see drafted to NXT for a fresh start?
Yeah, of course, there's Bo Dallas comes to mind. Bo Dallas has done nothing.
He might be that mystery guy. I put that up earlier. It might, because I think one of the hints was a date when he won the belt, or a date when there was some hint about, but it was either Bo Dallas, Bobby Roode, or Ember Moon as the three names I see floating around. But yeah, Bo Dallas is a great one.
Yeah, I can see that happening, but they have run a vignette where the biker had like long blonde hair, so maybe he's colored his hair, and but I don't see that. I don't know.
It's Levaniel for all.
Oh yeah, that would be great. I just talked to Levaniel yesterday, so if so, he is like, that's why he asked us to be a little bit later, because to go a bit later online with our QuizzleMania Germany edition, because he was signing his WWE contract. Yeah, it all makes sense now.
All makes sense. We'll let you plug that later. But yeah, Chad Gable, I'm going to throw out there. Chad Gable. Love to see that. him going back to NXT. Chad Gable versus Kushida. Chad Gable versus Kyle O'Reilly. I'm just getting excited saying those names. Fucking hell. But yeah, but that was what that's happening. That's a bit of news. But what was your last news story, Daniel? Coming out with a big one.
Yeah, my last news story is actually only a few hours old. It's the news in regards to NXT Takeover tonight.
Oh, yes.
Something really, really special going on there. So the Full Sail Arena will be renamed to, or the Performance Center rather, will be renamed to Capital Wrestling Center, which is like WWE's Thunderdome, but more edgier, as they write here, more NXT-like. And Triple H also said they are kind of shaking up the business like Capital Wrestling, the Capital Wrestling Corporation did back in the day, who, for those that do not know, is the company that was before the WWF. So
Jess McMahon founded it, and it was
Jess McMahon.
Yeah, 1953, run by Vincent J. McMahon.
That's kind of big news and unsuspected news. There were some rumors of WWE moving NXT out of the Full Sail Arena towards the Performance Center. So we will see what they will be doing later tonight. I've read some reports also about fans with pods, inside pods. So we will see what happens there.
Yeah, as you just said, Justin Barrasso reported that the virtual fans would also feature live fans, something that Fightful reported a few days ago. This is the statement. In addition to video walls around the ring with virtual fans similar to the Thunderdome, the venue will also welcome back live fans in a limited capacity. Triple H said the crowd is likely to be around 100 people. At least it will add, I don't know, I'd say you agree, Dan, at least it will add some real feel as opposed to some manufactured. Because Kyle O'Reilly and Finn Balor needs crowd noise because it's going to be insane. It's going to be match of the year and it needs to have some audience interaction.
Well, match of the year is when Cameron Grimes takes on Dexter Lumis, but for now, it's probably one of the greatest or best matches this year.
I can't wait to talk about it later. I love. Everybody knows Kyle O'Reilly is now my favorite wrestler. So good. I cannot wait for this match. It's going to be. There's no way it can't be a bad match. I can't believe I've just cursed it. Damn it.
They will lift. I'm sorry. Can you bleep that out then? I don't know. Or can I curse?
Yes. Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
Amazing.
The obvious, not to a serious, like not to a offensive extent, but you can curse. You can curse. The F word, the S word are all allowed.
Oh, amazing. I don't know if I will do it though, but just in case.
Yes, you're fine. Yeah, no holds barred. But yeah, that it looks like it's going to be a promising venture.
Yeah, I'm sure Cole and O'Reilly will lift each other to heights we haven't seen yet in WWE from them.
Yeah, so. Yeah, I can't wait for I think Finn is going to retain, but great match. We'll get on to it later in our predictions. But yeah, that's all with the news. There's obviously a lot more stories, but they are the main ones. So now we get on to I'd say we'll start with Clash Champions. 3 matches I liked on this pay-per-view. The rest were okay, but I just want to start. Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn is just so good. I don't know how Fidel Castro lookalike Sami Zayn is insane. It's so good. And that ladder match, Dan, was so simple in theory when you see it. You kick yourself when you don't think of that idea, but it was just so good in execution and it was just beautiful.
Yeah, I actually only have one thing to complain about, which is Jeff Hardy still taking these bumps. Unnecessary in my opinion, but the rest, awesome.
Yeah. The stupid bump was apart from the Swanton, which we can accept, the one where he scaled the ladder and then was dropped over the top rope and looked like he whacked his head and his hand off the ladder. That was a bit insane. But some of the great, like Sami Zayn doing the Shawn Michaels bump against Shawn Michaels against Hulk Hogan SummerSlam bump off the ladder. Just some of the impact. Like his back looked horrible. Insane, yeah.
And what I loved was that suplex where AJ and Zayn were handcuffed, and after the suplex, the handcuffs were off. That was insane. I loved that.
Oh, it was so good. It built to a point. It was so good, but we can't really, like, you've heard a lot of reviews already, but it builds to a point where Sami has, Jeff, you need to close up your earlobes. Orton exposed your earlobes a year ago in Hell in a Cell, and now you had this where Sami Zayn chained took. But what I loved, I only noticed this while watching it the second time, Dan. He went for the handcuffs didn't come from under a ring. They came from his own jacket pocket on the announce table. Just the little details are so good. Where like if you watch a match for the second time, so good. He takes and then he changed Jeff Hardy to a ladder, which incapacitates Jeff Hardy, even though he tried to get back in the ring, which was quite funny. And then sets to work on with the second pair of handcuffs on AJ. And what did you think of this like finishing sequence with AJ and Sami? This was just perfect for me.
You don't get these in-ring smarts in WWE that often anymore. So I was like amazed, and I was like even more into this match. And I was like, what is Sami going to do next? This was so creative, and then the way he managed to get the handcuffs on AJ, then gets them off again, and then actually manages to get AJ once more handcuffed on the ladder to climb up, while Jeff is somehow trying to get in the ring with the ladder onto his ear. So awesome.
So as we said, Sami chains AJ, and then AJ starts fighting back. So he kind of half incapacitates Sami. Sami realized the danger, slaps on the handcuff. You can't get me. As Jeff's trying to get back in, AJ climbs with the ladder with Sami on his back, and Sami produces the key from his mouth and unhooks himself, and the shit-eating grin on his face made it even better. He was like, I got you. Uncuffs the handcuff, cuffs AJ to the ladder, can't get any higher than he is. Sami just basks in his own glory, to steal Keith Lee's gimmick, and just takes the belts and gloats like shit all the way up the ramp. And then one of the funniest things for me was when the camera panned around after Sami did his promo. Jeff was looking hurt. AJ looked so pissed off, and it was hilarious. I'll get the screenshot too, but AJ's face at the end of that ladder match was brilliant because it was the exact face he needed to pull. Like, I hate him, but he's so smart. It's so good. It was my face. Like, that's the benchmark for. We're talking about match of the year tonight. That's what it has to beat for me. I know there's been a lot of cinematic matches like the Stadium Stampede. Sami, AJ, and Jeff is match of the year for me. It just edges the Stadium Stampede.
It was so smartly executed, so well done. I loved it.
I loved it. Is there anything other than the two title matches that you would like to bring up? Apart from maybe AJ Garza's injury, but is there anything else you'd like to highlight?
Well, you mean the world title matches, of course.
Yeah. We'll talk about those, but is there anything else outside it? Because for me, nothing else clicked with me.
Yeah, same. I like a lot of these things were already done 500 times, so let's not bother talking about them.
No, we'll talk about actually. It reminds me of one thing: the botch in the tag team title match for the Raw tag team titles was dreadful. So, fair enough. Angel Garza slightly tears the quad, out for 2 weeks. A spine buster and the 2 count where clearly kicks out and the ref rings for the bell. I still don't know if that was it was definitely an audible, but I still don't know if they meant to finish the match there, if it was a botch, or if it was booked into the storyline.
I think the ref went into business for himself and said, "Lad, he's hurt. Let's just make this a finish."
But couldn't you get Montez Ford to do a splash and just 1, 2, 3? It was a total fuck up for me.
Yeah, it was, and the referee was like, he didn't really think this through. He was like, he's heard what I'm going to do, and 1, 2, 3, let's just get the medics here. So, yeah.
Yeah, he almost turned it into a Thunderdome screw job. But yeah, this ambulance match, bit of a we had a bad clusterfuck, and this ambulance match was a bit of a good clusterfuck.
I loved it.
It's divided opinion. Whereas there was the bad, the good, which was the main event, and Sami and Thing, and then this has divided opinion a lot on social media, and I think we're both on the same side here. I loved it.
Yeah, I can see why people didn't like it, and if you look at Raw, what happened the next night, in my opinion, this should have been the final endpoint for the storyline, but it isn't, of course. But there was But the moment I decided, I love this match now, it's incredible, was when Christian got physical for the first time in years and attacked Randy Orton. That was incredible. I loved it.
Yeah, Daniel, don't you know, ambulance matches are always feud continuers. No, but one of my favorite moments, as has been clipped on Twitter loads, is that Randy Orton sell of, I think was it a Claymore, where he just spit out of his mouth, which is not great for COVID, but that's how you sell. You don't fall backwards into a back bump because you've clearly been knocked out. You just lie on the ground and just have no sense of like your body anymore and just start foaming out of the mouth. Fantastic stuff by Orton and criminally underrated work.
Yeah, Orton is when he cares, he's amazing. He's one of the best in the entire industry if he cares.
Yeah, him and Lesnar. They get unfair flack because they just don't give a shit. But yeah, any flashpoints were Big Show fucking turning. I hope Wrestle Talk updated their article where Big Show's turned face again. Big Show's turned face again. I said I have enough to do another round of the Big Show round in QuizzleMania. I said I have enough since the last time they did the round. But Big Show turns face with a lovely clean shaven face. Looks very weird. So he attacked Orton. Then we had Shawn Michaels on top of the ambulance, who poor Shawn Michaels having to get himself up on top of the ambulance. Then you said Christian, fantastic. And before we get to the last bit, because we'll get on to it in a minute, but what did you think of these? Were these Legends interferences timed to perfection, or were they a bit overdone? Could we have done without one of them?
I think it was great because one other guy you have forgot about was Ric Flair at the end.
We were going to get onto him with the finish. Yeah, that was brilliant.
I believe they were timed perfectly because you had all of them involved in the storyline in Randy Orton getting this newer persona in order to take down Edge first and then Drew McIntyre, and they were all involved in this. And so it was great to see all of them coming back to aid Drew McIntyre and to tell Orton, don't underestimate us. We can still kick your ass. So it was great. So I don't know. I understand why people might not like this because they do not like this all of these distractions, and it might let Drew McIntyre look weird because he can't win without any help. But at the end of the day, I think Drew still looked very strong and like a killer, like a beast, and he won the match. So it was nice. Like you see these legends, you see the legends perform like they did in their heyday, the big days, and everything about this was actually very entertaining. And at the end of the day, that is what it's supposed to be.
Exactly. Yeah. So Drew wins, keeps the belt. It seems like they're going on to Hell in a Cell to fight again. I digress. We'll talk about that another day. That's a discussion for another day over who likes and who doesn't. Not many people seem to be on board with it, but sure, look. I was going to say something there regarding this match. Oh, yeah, Drew has a 24 coming out tonight. It looks unreal from the trailer. So some not viewing before TakeOver just gave me goosebumps watching the trailer, so it will be fantastic. Now, Daniel, what is there to say about this main event? This was psychological-wise, this was one of the best matches in a long time.
Yeah, this was like everything I want from a wrestling match was in this storyline and in this main event. Like so emotionally charged. Uso versus Roman Reigns, Jey Uso. How great was this entire build and the culmination on this pay-per-view? It was so amazing. From start to finish, this acknowledged me, and then one more blow, and then acknowledged me, and he didn't want to acknowledge Roman as a tribal chief of the Samoan dynasty, and still, boom, another blow, and then acknowledged me. Like, incredible work by both of them, and Jey just didn't stop and was not willing to give up, and then Jimmy had to come out, and and this moment when Jimmy just talked to Jey, I can end this. I almost had tears in my eyes. So amazing was this. It was so great. Like, I wish we had this more.
Yeah, I can hear the emotion in your voice, and everybody when talks about this, it's like real emotion. I was like impressed by the feud, like a head nod, up until SmackDown when the line, "Which one is he?" came out. As soon as he said that, I think everybody became so invested in this feud. Which one are you? It's like, and then the what if was amazing. Like, what if I actually beat you, Roman? I would love if the match started with a super kick, like the Goldberg Shawn Michaels match. It's like Goldberg Shawn Michaels, Goldberg Dolph Ziggler. Confused for obvious reasons, because he's literally Shawn Michaels light. But yeah, it should have started with. I would have liked it if it started with a super kick and then a quick near fall to hammer home the what if. But I'm not complaining. This was so good. Acknowledge me. And then the final blow, as you said, so good. I think you've summed it up perfectly. I don't need to say any more. To tie that in, we might, because there's a lot on SmackDown we need to talk about, but to tie that in, on Friday night, I love this as well. Roman comes out and cuts a promo with Paul Heyman. And Paul Heyman's gloating, as he always does. And Roman stops him, and we're like, ooh, this is interesting. And Roman says, no, I'm not happy. He didn't acknowledge me. And then we get on to Jey Uso going over AJ Styles. Daniel, this is literally just adding to the positivity. So good.
Yeah. So this is the thing that WWE does not do very often. If you see like a guy having this big match out of nowhere, like Jey had, and then the next TV he beats like a big main event star like AJ Styles, who has won multiple world titles in WWE, in which everyone knows WWE really lost AJ Styles. If they give someone like Jey a win, a clean victory over AJ, this is like WWE saying, thank you. You have done this very well. We are very satisfied with your work. Here's a big victory for you. So Jey has done everything right. He pleased the fans. He did great for himself. And he even managed to do the impossible and please the backstage office of WWE.
Beautiful. So yeah, that's our Samoan part of the podcast done. It's nice to tie things in together. Beautiful. There's nothing negative to say. It's announced that it's Jey versus Roman Reigns at Hell in a Cell in what Roman is calling the highest stake match ever. Yep, I'm on board. I'm fully on board this train. Just all the way to Samoa, because that's the logistics. We're able to get a train straight to Samoa. But yeah, so now where are we now? So Clash Champions is over. The Wednesday Night Wars. I'm just a few good things that we. Some magician that cheated at something showed up on AEW. Dan, I don't know anything about him. Do you?
I didn't quite catch that. Magician?
Yeah, listen, it's AEW. Some part of Miro's bachelor party.
Yeah. Okay. Now I know.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. He wasn't a magician. He looked like a magician. He looked like a magician. Okay. I'm tired. He cheated. He cheated at Pac-Man.
I hope Matthew does not listen to this podcast. Neither does Luke Owen, because they would like straight up pull you out of your out of your chair now.
Hi guys. Feel free. If you listen to this and get angry, feel free to quote tweet it. We need the listeners. Quote tweet us with your anger. Any publicity is free publicity.
He's a video game legend, and He's a suit, Guinness and like this other website. I forgot the website's name. And he sued them, and he's getting his records back. And he didn't really cheat about it. So he's still a legendary video game player, world record holder in Pac-Man and stuff. Uh, his name, I believe, Mitch or Mitchie.
Yeah.
Everyone knows.
I'll get it up here. Before I move on to my favorite part, I'm gonna just talk about my favorite part of the Wednesday Night Wars. Once I find out where it is, where is this? Where was this in the show? Actually, it might have been at the end. Might have been towards the end. No,
well,
it was at the start.
I believe it was after the tag team title match. I believe.
Bleacher Report aren't arsed to acknowledge it, which is what I have up here very quickly. We'll go. Honestly, it doesn't really matter. He'll be back soon. He'll be back next week, and we can acknowledge him properly. Ricky Starks versus Darby Allin. Brilliant. Oh,
yeah. So, I have to confess, I'm not that big of a fan of Darby Allin. I don't get the character and stuff like this. I don't really gel well with Darby Allin. So I know I'm pretty alone with that, but Darby Allin isn't my thing.
Everybody has their opinion, but let's focus on Ricky Starks then.
Yeah, Ricky Starks is the greatest guy.
Because there's a lot of people that are matching up Ricky Starks' path to a young Rocky Maivia, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. I am not. I'm one of those. His promos are so good. His mannerisms are amazing, and he can fucking wrestle. Future AEW World Champion. On this show, you have, I will say Darby Allin first. You can dispute that, but we're talking in general like context. We have Darby Allin, Ricky Starks, Will Hobbs, Ben Carter now potentially, MJF, Jungle Boy. AEW has 7 potential future world. Sammy Guevara, 8 potential future world champions. It's crazy.
And they are doing so much right to push these younger talents to a level, but not fast and like immediately in the world title picture and then down again. They are doing this slow and steady like it's supposed to be. So I really love it.
Yeah, I love it. And Starks is amazing. Another part of this match, Will Hobbs interfered on behalf of Darby Allin to get rid of Brian Cage. And this week on Jericho's 30th anniversary, we're getting Will Hobbs versus Brian Cage. That's like that's like if your fridge fought your oven in a match. It's cue up the big meaty men slapping meat gif, because that's literally what it is. So
the thing is about Brian Cage, we haven't even seen what he can actually do in the ring yet. We have only seen him being the big meaty guy, but this dude can fly. So.
And Will Hobbs can spine buster people out of their fucking shoes. So yes, please. This could be a future world title match. I could see that. That just putting it out there. That is cannot wait. Cody, what do you think of black? Well, I'd love to say natural haired Cody, but this isn't a natural black. That is definitely not natural black.
Yeah.
Beautiful suit. Great promo. I love Cody on the mic. He's so underrated in like of what he's done so far. And I'm not. A lot of people are like, "Why is this happening? It's a dog collar match, whatever." I like this angle.
I'm a huge Rhodes fan, like not just Cody. Everyone knows, I guess. But Cody, he's been this bright babyface character for so long now. And now he's going to like a more darker side. He's still a babyface, but he is not the same bright shining Cody that he used to be now. Not just by colors, but what he talks now. And what I found like scary but amazing at the same time was when he finished his promo. I mean, he's his son, yes, but he started to sound exactly like Dusty, and that was magical.
Yeah, when he came back and fired up and was like, no, as in, like not giving up, not letting the fight go out of me. So good. And then Brody getting insane. The schmoz at the end, didn't really. Actually, I said this on Twitter. this would have been so much better if it just ended with a stare down. Brody didn't need to come to the ring. Brody standing on the this was perfect up until Brody standing on the ramp with a dog collar in his hand, and Cody in the ring looking fiery as fuck.
This is actually the second dog collar match for me this year. The first one I've seen live at WXW Shotgun tapings.
Oh yeah, poor Norman Harris.
Yeah, I mean, no, that was a dog food match, but they did a dog collar match on Friday again. And the thing is that Norman really got overexcited and actually for real almost choked out Avalanche. So
Jesus Christ! For those that don't know, we are talking about WXW. Go check them out. There's a lot of good stuff on there. They're doing some really good stuff during the pandemic. So yeah, go check it out.
So what I hope is that Moxley or Brody, Cody or Brody, whoever wins this match, isn't that extreme about it.
Yeah, don't go full boss man. Don't go full. Never go full boss man. But yeah, I see your I love your Twitter feed. I think we always look on the we are always on the same page in terms of our wrestling likes and dislikes. Since we're talking about Dark Order, I know we've both agreed on Twitter. The best thing in wrestling right now is John Silver and being the Elite.
Yeah, absolutely. What was it? Adrenaline in my soul. Something, Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, and then Stu Grayson was just like, whoa! It was just and then they took Stu Grayson took the best bump of the year off Anna Jay. There's literally go on YouTube and look up Dark Order being the Elite compilation. They have all the skits from like the start of their like funny skits to the present, and it's so good. It's I love the like this motherfucker hates your food.
Sue, slap him and do it again.
Do it again.
Lay down.
Oh man, I could do an entire podcast just talking about those. I want John Silver on this podcast. Right?
Yeah.
He has a Twitch now. He's setting up a Twitch, which I can't wait for. Oh my god, I can't wait for this. Oh, John Silver is another one. Let's throw him in there. John Silver with a belt around his waist. He's charisma. He's like a charisma sponge. He just soaks it all in, and he's so funny. And then what was it? We forgot Alex Reynolds' dad was getting castrated.
Not castrated. I believe he gets a smaller one.
Because he was going to fencing class to learn how to castrate his dad, according to John Silver. Oh man, amazing! We can't really dwell on them for too long, but Daniel, you are welcome to start a Being the Elite Dark Order podcast. But yeah, 100%. I just love it. Other than that, SEU they've been a bit sloppy for the last few weeks. The FTR match against SEU was very good. They've blown a bit hot and cold ever since I liked them at the start, but they've kind of taken a step back for a while in this 20-minute. They're challenging the Hybrid 2 this week. I really don't know. This is one of those things. You either have a positive or negative opinion. I really don't know what to think of this right now.
Well, I love FTR. I will forever.
So do I. I just don't know what to think of this right now.
Yeah, that something must have changed. I don't know if it's because of the outbreak or something. Like something must have changed because the plan was clearly to put Sean Spears and these two and Cody in like some new version of the Four Horsemen. Like that was clearly the deal. But
and then tease Hangman, and then Hangman becomes a lone wolf, which we've seen has happened, but the rest hasn't.
But something has changed because. The first thing is that Sean Spears seems to be alone now. Like he's not getting accompanied by Tully Blanchard anymore. He's just standing backstage. That's weird. And FTR are like that the tag team with Tully Blanchard, but have no direction their thing is now putting over other tag team talent. They have this, as you mentioned, match with Hybrid True, which I'm looking forward to because Angelico and Jack Evans are amazing, in my opinion. There's no clear direction for them now. So let's see. Maybe next week on the 30th anniversary of Chris Jericho, we see something happening again and some progression there. So, we will see.
Yeah, I'd love to talk about everything on AEW, but I'll quickly just run through. Jericho finally put in Jericho, as people know, I hate him in ring at the moment. He's good on the mic, and the great segment with MJF is probably the last thing was amazing, but he's terrible in ring. But he actually picked it up this week and gave Isaiah Cassidy a great match. The MJF and Jericho segment, Daniel, was hilarious. Just quick summary. It was just comedy gold.
I loved it. I love how they play off on each other. Sorry, they play off on each other, and like you have this dynamic that MJF, Jericho, but then there's Wardlow and Hager as well, and you have like Chris Jericho not having a shirt for Sammy Guevara for some reason. And there's something going on there that I can't quite grasp it. If is MJF actually joining them? Is he using them, or is his plan to take over the Inner Circle at the end of the day? So I'm really interested in this progressing.
There's few ways that I can see it going. Jericho is very good at the babyface as well. Guevara just looks like a babyface. I could see Guevara and Jericho being kicked out, or just Jericho and MJF taking over. And then I could see like some skits, some funny babyface Jericho skits where he tries to get Wardlow on his side. I could see them being like when MJF leaves, when MJF leaves Wardlow to join the Inner Circle, he's like Jericho chasing around after Wardlow, being like, "Will you come here and be my friend? I need a friend," or something like that. I really don't know, but Jericho. I've been saying for the last few weeks, Daniel, that Jericho just needs to lose a bit of weight. I hate to say it, but it's costing him. It's costing his opponents dearly in matches. I can't watch a Jericho match at the moment.
Well, I think he has addressed this weight thing in the past. It's not an accident. It's by design, because he thinks a heel in this position has to look out of shape, because it even generates even more heel heat. Same reason why Absolute Andy, another WXW guy, like one of the biggest guys, is actually doing the same thing. So this is what some pro wrestlers think it's the right way to do it. They're playing a big heel. Of course, Andy is not a heel anymore, but still, this is what their philosophy is. If you are a heel, you can be out of shape because you are getting more heat for this.
Yeah, my anger shows that it's working. Jericho rant over for the week. Good match with Isaiah Cassidy, and then its main event. The Butcher really, really impressed me in this, Daniel.
Yeah, ever since Butcher and Blade debuted on AEW, most people didn't like the act, but I liked them right from the start when he's going around and stomping like a crazy man. And now he's wearing this new attire, which actually looks like he's a butcher now. And I loved it. It's amazing.
Their turning point was the match with the Bucks, where he went up the travel elevator, or went up the escalator. That was very good. But this match, Jon Moxley, I don't know how people cannot like Jon Moxley. He's so captivating and so good. I know people make those Stone Cold comparisons, as we mentioned on the podcast a few weeks ago. I love Jon Moxley, and I love what he does. And him and Eddie Kingston are just so perfect together.
Oh, Eddie Kingston! Oh my God, he's the king.
But he can cut promos on Sour Patch Kids, and that is amazing.
I actually see a lot more Sandman in Moxley than I see Stone Cold. There's a lot more Sandman in him that you might grasp. Just picture him with a candlestick in his hand in the crowd. That's so sad.
I hope to God he doesn't fall asleep in a headlock. or when he's choking someone out. Just don't go to that extent, John. If you're listening, if you want to be a Sandman knockoff, do not go to that extent. We can't. Just don't, and don't get drunk when you're wrestling. It's quite dangerous. But yeah, I thought this match was great.
Yeah, I loved it. It was great, unexpected, and they did the best with the situation they had without Lance Archer. Amazing.
Yeah, and great character work at the end with Moxley and Kingston staring each other off.
Oh yeah.
And then brilliant, short and sweet. And then we move on to, this is going to be a lot shorter because NXT did not have as many good moments. Unfortunately, the thrown together takeover has produced some amazing matches, which we will talk about. The tease for the surprise entrant, which I think is Bo Dallas, was interesting. But other than that, and apart from Sean Ryan, I believe, did OTT resident package maker did an amazing prime target for Kyle O'Reilly, reminding people that he was a Ring of Honor champion, Ring of Honor world champion, which is a key. And him and Adam Cole fought at Wrestle Kingdom. If you don't think Kyle O'Reilly is an A1 single star, go and watch that match. Daniel, I will give you the floor to talk about Cameron Grimes and what you think what you think of this, because I know you're a big fan of this, and I love Dexter Lumis reappearing.
Yeah, so Cameron Grimes, he came out and said he wants to do an open challenge kind of thing, like his own gauntlet match, to be exact, because he lost the gauntlet match a week earlier to Kyle O'Reilly. And I'm thinking about the name. What name has he?
Cameron Grimes is Shortcut to the Moon. Or was it Stepping Stone? Yeah, Stepping Stone to the Moon challenge. I am not doing an accent. I don't want to be cancelled.
Cameron Grimes to the moon.
Yeah,
amazing. He has found his role so perfectly. It's amazing how he went there. At first I hated him and his character, but now I love him. He's so great. And he beats up some guy I've never seen before in some interesting ring gear.
It's like when heel. I remember when Johnny Gargano debuted on SmackDown in like 2005. Someone called him like the Lithuanian. It was like maybe JBL called him like the Lithuanian world heavyweight champion. It was kind of like that. He was like, this guy is like an amazing amateur wrestler from this country, and then beat the shit out of him.
Yeah, and that's exactly what happened here. But the gauntlet match continues, and who comes out? Big meaty Rich Holland with a great entrance theme, which is going to be changed in a few months, weeks, something like that, because it's not owned by WWE, and we know they do not like this kind of stuff. But it's Cameron Grimes almost losing to Rich Holland, but the referee called the match off after repeated blows by Rich Holland in the ropes. The referee stops the match and hands the disqualification victory to Cameron Grimes. Yeah, and after that, we get another segment, and then we see Cameron Grimes backstage, like being all fed up about what just happened. And then, he stares into to his right, and who does he see? Dexter Lumis. He is back, the greatest character in all of wrestling right now.
He's back from hurting his ankle in that hilarious. I hate to say hilarious, but that jump cut when he did the flip was just hilarious. But it's great to see him back. Great moment, and one that certainly popped Daniel. Yeah. Austin Theory can fuck off. Just move on. He doesn't interest me in any way. It's not anything to do with the outside thing. I just don't see. I love Kushida. Tony Nese is good too, but Austin Theory just doesn't excite me at all, and it's partly down to why he shouldn't be there, but that's not what we're here to talk about. Adam Cole beat the shit out of him. Adam Cole is showing a lot of babyface tendencies, which I love. The rumor is him and Kyle O'Reilly to be babyface and the other two to be heels. Interesting. Michaels and Shawn Michaels moderating the Finn Balor and Kyle O'Reilly debate. The best debate that was on TV this week. They didn't talk over each other. But yeah, what they did do was say each other's names at the start of every sentence, which is hilarious.
And Finn Balor was. I'm stealing a bit here from Wrestle Talk. Finn Balor was kind of alluding to the big push. The big push.
Credit Wrestle Talk for that one. I just love this. Kyle O'Reilly stating his claim as the favorite and stop telling people to stop calling him the underdog, because people have he's literally saying what everyone's saying. You guys haven't seen him as a single star. He's had 5 singles matches since he came to WWE, 2 of them being Progress Super Strong style matches, and one of them, if anyone remembers, I don't know if you remember, Dan, but was an amazing TV match with Pete Dunne for the North America for the UK title. A fantastic 10-minute match, I think it was, 15 minutes, brilliant.
Yeah.
We'll talk about this. We'll talk about this in predictions in 2 seconds. But there's nothing wrong with this. It's so good. And Kyle O'Reilly, I don't think, even though how much I can say it or anybody can say it, if you want to listen to an interview with Kyle O'Reilly before heading into this, Alex McCarthy did a interview with Inside the Ropes with Kyle O'Reilly 2 days ago. It's up on their YouTube. It's just brilliant. And Kyle O'Reilly is just so fucking good.
Yeah. I've been a fan of Kyle. I used to watch Ring of Honor in the exact time frame when Kyle was going in his singles push and winning the world title. So I'm all for it to happen for this to happen again, but I don't know if it actually happens again.
Power couple doesn't interest me. They both should be baby faces. They don't really. Candice, I just can't get over Johnny and Candice. They just don't interest me. Damian Priest and Io Shirai teamed up. Decent match. Again, Damian Priest. What is infamy and why is he an Archer Rose? But yeah, that was a decent match. Damian Priest versus Gargano should be good. And that segues nicely into some takeover predictions, Daniel.
Yes.
I will get... Sorry, yeah, you go ahead.
One more thing to the Garganos. I believe, in my opinion, this, when they were the entrance to the ring and when they were standing on the turnbuckles together, that was the first time they actually looked like interesting and good to me. Before all of the stuff before, it's like it doesn't really fit the characters and that stuff. Kind of like you said, they don't click with me. But that entrance, that was nice.
Yeah, the dinner stuff and having a dick cup framed in the middle of the table. I don't know about you, but I wouldn't want to put my shin guards in the middle of the table when I'm eating my food.
I mean, I like that they have Michael Hayes, a picture of Michael Hayes as, what was his name? Doc Hansen? No.
Yeah. Stan Hansen?
No, not Stan Hansen is a wrestler from the 80s Japan wrestling.
I know, I've been watching a lot of Stan Hansen matches, so that's probably where when I heard Hansen.
Doc Hendricks, is it?
Oh, okay.
Doc Hendricks, and I love that they have a picture of him there because the thing is at NXT Takeover in Your House that Michael Hayes refused to appear as Doc Hendricks on the show, so they just had this picture of him.
Yeah, so. It's hard to talk about Candice without talking about before we go into predictions. Tegan Knox, our heart goes out to her.
Oh, yes,
she's amazing. Her knees, sadly, are just really like feeling the wear and tear of a lot of surgeries. Triple H loves her, so I really hope it's not a case of unreliability anymore. I really want her winning the belt off Candice is probably what they're going to try and look to do. If Candice wins the belt at some point, probably not on Sunday, spoiler for my predictions, but it's just so sad, Daniel.
Yeah, it's incredibly sad. We hope all the best to her. And hopefully it turns out well.
Yeah, let's hope. Okay, Takeover 31. I have my predictions done. Kieran has given me his predictions. So, Daniel, you can give us your neutral opinion because I think Kieran won the belt last week after the predictions, and I think it's on the line again tonight. Yeah, it is on the line again tonight. So I'm looking to win the Hallway Wrestling Podcast Championship back off Kieran. So Kushida versus Velveteen Dream. Big cloud over this match, but I love Kushida, and I'm going to start off straight away. It'd be stupid to have Velveteen Dream go over. I love Kushida. That move that he does, the armbar, Spanish fly into the transition into the submission is just world class. Kushida for the win by submission for me.
Yeah, I hope the bell rings, Kushida, bam, kick in the face, then whoops in the armbar, Dream taps, move on. That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, short and sweet. Kieran has gone for head over heart. Fair enough. He has explicitly told me to say head over heart that he's picking Velveteen Dream. He's going for WWE. I don't blame him because WWE. I wouldn't be surprised. Head over heart, Kieran goes for Velveteen Dream. Should be a great match, but this could be match. This could be a sleeper for match of the night. NXT Cruiserweight title is on the line as Santos Escobar faces Isaiah Swerve Scott. Daniel, I'll let you start this one off. This could be a cracker.
This will be an amazing match. I've seen Scott work so many matches even before WWE and know what he can do, and he didn't even show all the things he can do in in NXT yet. So we are going to see a great match, but I think that this El Legado del Fantasma stuff is far from over, so Escobar retains.
Yeah, I fully believe that Isaiah Swerve Scott is the next Cruiserweight champion. But tonight, via shenanigans, Santos Escobar will win. He will realize that, Swerve has pinned him, so he knows, he's scared. So Escobar will escape by the skin of his teeth, in my opinion. And Kieran has gone for, I'm pretty sure, I'm just looking at my notes. I'm getting out Tim Thatcher's favorite app, Notes app. The most unrealistic piece of shit that WWE has produced this week was Tim Thatcher commenting on Notes app. But yes, Kieran. Oh, I need to go to it. Sorry. Filling airtime. Kieran has gone for whoever the current Cruiserweight champion is. Good man, Kieran. Shows your interest in the product. He has gone for Santos Escobar to retain. So, Santos Escobar all around. So, me and Kieran differ on one. And now the next match is North American Championship is on the line. It's Damian Priest versus Johnny Gargano. Daniel, how do you first of all, are you looking forward to this match? And second of all, where's it going?
Yeah, this is going to be a great match because, again, two great talents going against each other. You can argue that NXT would end, or would not end, but would see the power couple of the Garganos hold both titles. But I don't see that. There's still so much left in the run of Damian Priest as North American champion. We've seen so many title changes in NXT right now. So I think Damian Priest is retaining here.
Yep, me too. As I said on Twitter a few days ago, apart from the nickname, Damian Priest in NXT is amazing. I'm so sad that the baggage of Punishment Martinez and how underutilized he was in the ring was hung over his head. He's fantastic in this promotion, and I agree fully with you, Daniel.
Yeah, especially when he goes in the jacuzzi with the girlfriend of Joey Janela.
Oh yeah, he does, isn't he? Brandy Lauren, I think it is. I actually didn't know she was in NXT, but there's Daniel teaching me something today. Yeah, I'm going Damian Priest to retain. Look, Kieran has gone for Johnny Gargano, so I'm very confident on that one. I might be winning the belt back. Kieran, hopefully Dream doesn't spoil it. But yeah, Kieran has gone for Gargano. Io Shirai versus Candice LeRae. I'm going to start us off here and say people are sleeping on this match. I think it could be very good if they get going. Despite LeRae, despite the character deficiencies of LeRae with Johnny Gargano, some of it just hasn't clicked. Great match. Io Shirai to retain. There's still more mileage in this story. Daniel?
Yes, same. I'm also going with Io. Io is so great. You could argue that they might even call up Io in the draft, but I don't see that happening. There's Candice does for me. Candice does not feel at the moment to be the right person to take the belt off Shirai. Uh,
Mm.
so so yeah, Gargano and LeRae still have to find this thing that makes this actually work. So before that happens, and it's not the thing, it's not going to be the championship belt. So before that happens, they still have to find something, and they can't be champions until then. So Io Shirai retains.
Yeah, for me, Io retains, and Kieran Io retains well. So all around. Io Shirai thing up to the main roster, kind of interest. It's interesting you say that because a lot of what Io Shirai does depend. Like there is, for those who don't know, she is married to Evil from New Japan, and a long distance relationship can be very tough. So in the click of a button, Io Shirai could decide that she wants to spend time with her husband, or I don't know if it's husband or fiance, but her time at WWE could be not as long as we think, because if you're married to someone and you're away from them for 5 or 6 years, it can be quite tough.
Yeah, I'm sure that's true, but yeah.
Let's hope.
Let's hope.
Let's hope. But that was just an interesting kind of thing where it's like, let's hope she stays. Because I don't want Evil in NXT. No offense.
He will be renamed to something like
Shenanigans.
Bad BAD or something like that.
But yeah, we'll talk about G1 next week. I've been really enjoying the G1. But yeah, and now we get on to Finn Balor versus Kyle of fucking Reilly. Daniel. The prediction is obvious. I'm going Finn Balor. Let's get that out of the way. Finn Balor's retaining. I don't see him dropping the belt yet.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. But my prediction, or my pitch, to steal, you stole something from Wrestle Talk. I'm going to steal something from Cultaholic. It's not what we think that it's going to happen. It's what we want to happen. This match has to go 20 minutes max. 22 minutes max. That is the sweet spot for this match. I have been reviewing takeovers as part of Takeover Throwbacks. NXT TakeOver London, Finn Balor, Demon Balor versus Samoa Joe. 18 minutes in the main event. One brilliant match. This needs to be similar. Do not have this go 30 minutes.
I agree, but I'm sure they will do that, and this match will be off the charts and incredible, because like there will be plenty of these moments where we think that Kyle has got the belt, but at the end of the day, Finn Balor is going to retain.
Yeah, I can see Kyle O'Reilly putting in a mean heel hook and Finn Balor retching for his life. I can see Kyle O'Reilly's facial expression right now. That big sweaty face, looks up at the camera, glazed eyes, like how the fuck did he escape that? Oh man, this is gonna be so good. This is gonna be so good. I just cannot wait for that near fall where it's gonna be two. You know how good these guys are. The better wrestlers there are, the closer near falls you can get. 2 9/10 near fall here. Oh man, it's giving me goosebumps just thinking about it. I can't wait.
It will be amazing.
It will be amazing. That's our joint prediction. Balor to win, and it will be fucking amazing. Kieran went for Finn as well. Kieran loves Finn Balor to death, so there's no surprise there. I think that brings us to the end of our time here. Daniel, thank you so much for joining us. Can you please plug anything you have, anything you want to plug? The floor is yours right now. There's nothing off limits.
Nothing off limit. Okay, go on to my OnlyFans. No, I'm joking. Follow me on Twitter at Valu2Go. Check out the entrance theme list I put together on WrestleTalk.com. Support WrestleTalk, all that stuff. And yeah, if you are listening to this and actually fluent in German or like able to speak German or understand it, you can check out the German edition. Once again, thank you to Adam and Ollie Davis from WrestleTalk for allowing this to happen. You can check out the German edition of QuizzleMania on YouTube and Twitch and Spotify, which is located on the Just Bring It podcast at Respect My Beard. You will find it there. And
you've been sending me all these links that you're talking about later, and I'll put them in the bio.
Yeah, so many great stuff. But first and foremost, support this fancy podcast. It's awesome, and I like the job that you are doing here. I'm sure you have great stuff coming up, and all the best to you, and all the best to everyone listening to this. It's been great.
Thank you. It's a pleasure. Thank you for those kind words. I want to just do a few plugs. As we know, we are part of Project Dits. When you said Cameron Grimes, I just remembered Cameron Grimes is Dits' favorite wrestler. So Project Dits has 5 different podcasts and a new Twitch channel. So we have football podcast, wrestling podcast, Twitch, gaming, Dits on gaming. Everything is fantastic. He has really, really given us a platform, and he's created the really cool thumbnails that you'll see for this podcast and all the other podcasts. It's just great to be part of Project Dits. The merch, we actually have merch, Daniel, and so does Dits. tpublic.com/Project Dits, tpublic.com/Hallway Wrestling Podcast. You can get a baby grow with my face on it, and it's frightening. There's a site-wide sale going on. They're really good at that. Support us. We don't make much of it, but it's a really, really cool little free t-shirt. It's free to make for us, and if anyone is interested in making merch for their brand, it's free to make, and you earn a small profit, so it's amazing. And on Wednesday I will have an interview coming out with Alex McCarthy of TalkSport, which is just one of my favorite things I've ever done. It's one of my proudest pieces. So I'm really, really looking forward to people hearing it. It's wide range of topics from him personally to wrestling in general in the landscape. He has been there and done it all. He's just the US editor of TalkSport, which is one of the biggest sports companies in the world and news companies in the world. And then the following Wednesday, I will have an interview with the amazing Louis Dangor of Wrestle Talk, which me and Daniel can vouch. There are some very interesting stories regarding Ric Flair, and every interview he has done has been fantastic. So to hear his perspective on writing the good interview and writing good stuff for Wrestle Talk, as Dan has as well, it was a delight to do and a pleasure.
Both of them great guys.
Both of them amazing. Both amazing guys, and you're an amazing man, Daniel. Enjoy Takeover. I've been the man that tonight's forgot Rain, and with me as well. Subscribe to the Ledger Wrestling Podcast and join their Discord chat, because their podcast is amazing. They're the reason we do this. So, yeah, nearly forgot that again. But it's time to go home. As we said, I've been your host, the man tonight's forgot Rain, and join me today has been the Mayor of Painsville, Dan. You've been a legend. Thank you very much. And as we say at the end of every episode of the Hallway Wrestling Podcast, we don't say it at the end of every episode, but watch Takeover tonight. Kyle O'Reilly's going to blow the fucking house down. Good night, everybody.